What's up everybody, it's Cheddar Chaz, and today we're going to be going over part 2 on how to take better pictures for your Turo profile. Now this video compared to the first video, we're going to be going over exact specifications on what Turo expects your photos to look like, all the angles, exterior and interior, and then also editing and all that kind of stuff too. If you're new to my channel, don't know who I am, I'm a creative entrepreneur. I shoot videos and do all types of digital art, pretty much a lot of stuff that's creative. So if you're also creative and want to follow my adventures of all these different platforms that I try to creatively use to make money, then consider subscribing and you might learn a thing or two. There are 7 different minimum image requirements that Turo expects you to know before taking pictures. The first one is all photos must be delivered in the final dimensions at least 5,000 pixels wide and at least 3,000 pixels tall. Now, this isn't always the case. This is like what they recommend, but I've uploaded pictures that are lower resolution than that and they still work. Number 2, when you're framing the subject, that's pretty much the car, the subject. When you're framing the subject, assume that 20% of the image on all sides will be cropped. Now, some of you probably realize that when you upload photos on your Turo profile and you're trying to scroll through, that part of the image is cut off from all sides. So you have to assume that the entire image, 20% from each angle of the image, that's the bottom, the top, the left, and the right, are gonna be cropped in. So in order for you guys to prevent that from happening, you have to take wider images of the shot, wider shots of the image. That's what I meant to say. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. So number 3, Turo doesn't want to accept pictures that have high ISO or just very grainy photos. Phones don't really run into this issue that much unless you're shooting your photos at night. So don't take your photos of the car at night at all because they'll be very grainy. Number 4, this is a crucial requirement here that a lot of people mess up. So what you have to do is take all your photos with your phone using landscape mode. This is portrait. This is landscape. So an easy way to remember this is when you're taking a selfie, which is a portrait, you're gonna have it in portrait mode, right? Selfie, portrait. Portraits are pictures of somebody's face. If you're taking a picture of a mountain, you wanna get the landscape, right? Because you wanna get that vast landscape of that mountain range. So use that to remember which one is which and make sure you're taking photos of your car just like this. If your phone is like this, that's not right. If it's like this is right. Number 5 is pretty simple. Just make sure that your car is in focus at all times. If you're using your phone, just tap the car to make sure that it's in focus. The phone should do it by itself, but as long as it's in focus, you should be okay. Number 6 is all photos should be accurately color corrected. If you guys are editing your photos, you have to make sure that, let's say your car is blue, don't edit it to make it look green or, do anything crazy. You can do slight edits to, darken the color up or brighten the color up a little bit. I've gotten away with that and it still looks really realistic, but for the most part, just keep it how it looks. And then the final tip is to avoid wide angle distortion. You might, if you have a wide angle lens on your camera or even on your phone, some phones nowadays have like 3-4 cameras. It's crazy, but there's a wide angle camera. You can get wide angle lens distortion. That's when you get kind of that bubble look when you're taking photos. So be aware of that, especially when you're taking pictures of the interior of the car. GoPros also have very wide angles. So if you're trying to use a GoPro, just be mindful of that as well. So those are the minimum requirements. So let's get into the exact shots that Turo is looking for. If you haven't seen my part 1 video on how to get better shots for Turo, that video is focused more on how to get nice looking shots and don't go into the specific requirements, but there is very good information in that video that's not in this video. So click this card if you haven't seen that video yet, watch that and then come back to this video, and those 2 videos will give you a very good understanding of how to get great pictures for Turo. So Turo allows you to upload up to 20 photos. They require that you have at least 10 basic shots to split down the middle from the exterior to the interior. We're gonna go over the exterior real quick, but before you watch that, again, if you haven't watched my first video, it's gonna show you how to get some of these shots. So one of the first shots that you're gonna need for the exterior is a rear 3/4 angle of the car. Again, click that card above so you can see these angles that I'm talking about. Some of them are self-explanatory, but you might not know what the quarter angles are. So a quarter angle from the front and from the rear, you can switch those out if you want, either or, it doesn't matter. You want a front angle of the car, a driver's side of the car from the driver's side, rear angle of the car where you can see the license plate, and then a passenger side angle of the car, pretty much a side angle of the car from the passenger side. And then in addition to that, you want interior shots, which I did not go over in the first video. But for the interior shots, you want a shot from the front seat angle, passenger and driver side. So you want to kind of see the front seats from each side of the car. And then you want to get a dashboard shot from the mid back seat. You want a dashboard close up, so show the gauges, how fast the car goes. You're gonna see all types of information like how much fuel's in the tank, you know, etc. You want to also get back seat shots from the side of the car. And then lastly, you want a shot of the trunk. So basically these are the 10 shots, 10 to 12 shots if you want to add those extra 3/4 shots in there, but pretty much 10 shots that you're going to need to start. And then for the other 10 shots, Turo recommends that you can get creative with these shots. So you want 1 to 5, you can go more if you want, but they say about 1 to 5 different creative shots for your car. So you can move a little closer, show some of the headlights, the rear lights. You can add props like bicycles if you have a rack on top of your car. Switch up the locations a little bit. That's something that I do on my profile. So I have one location where I'm downtown in the city, and I have another location where we're up in the mountains to add a little bit of creativity and variation. When you're doing the creative photos, just be mindful. Think about your location. What's great about your location? For an example, if you live in California, a lot of people come to Cali. They want to go to the beach maybe. Same with Florida. If you live in Colorado, you know, people will come and see the mountains a lot there. If you live in the Midwest, I'm from the Midwest, so I don't really know. Maybe let's say Chicago, right? So if you go to Chicago, if you live in Chicago, maybe take some photos that are close to the lake. Same with Michigan. So kind of think about what area that you're in and what attractions people might want to go see, or what your area is known for, and get creative from there. You kind of want to inspire and give some type of adventure or look in regards to whatever location that you live in. So keep those things in mind when being creative. So obviously after you shoot your photos of the car, you're going to have to do some edits and make sure that everything is crispy and crystal clear. You don't want the horizon of your photo to be off axis. So if you have a crooked photo, make sure that you straighten that up in the editing process. That's one thing that a lot of people don't do. You can do that on your phones as well. You don't have to do that in some fancy software. Just make sure you go there with the edit and do the rotation tool and make sure that everything is aligned. Color correction is the last thing when editing your photos. If you look at Turo's homepage, you can kind of see that their branding goes with the warmer, vibrant look. You can get that look by shooting early in the morning, especially if you shoot later in the evening during golden hour. That's when I would try to aim for when shooting your photos. Please try to avoid taking pictures in the middle of the day. That's when the sun is the highest and everything is super bright, and you just want to avoid that if at all possible. As I mentioned in part 1 of this video, again, if you haven't watched that, go click this card. It'll help you guys out a lot. If you don't want to do that vibrant look, if you look at my listing, I have cool and vibrant looks as well. They recommend that you stay consistent with all your photos. I kind of bent those rules a little bit, but if you want to go for the cooler look, which will typically happen when you take photos during cloudy, rainy days, you'll get more of a cool look. They just recommend that you try to increase the contrast a little bit when shooting in a cooler environment for your pictures. So yeah, as I mentioned in the previous video, part 1, editing your photos makes a big difference in capturing people's attention and setting you apart from the rest of the competition. If you guys need help editing your photos, I'm going to have a link in the bottom of this video. Just click that, send me your photos, send over the payment for it, and I'll get those edited and back to you as soon as possible. They help a lot, especially if you guys follow all these tips. Like I said, it sets you apart from the competition, and even during the slow months when everybody's going back to school and stuff, we're still getting bookings for our listings. They slow down a bit, but we're still hanging in there. So yeah, edits make a big difference. Presentation is always key. If you like that video, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. If you guys have any other things that you want me to talk about, leave a comment below. Or if you have any questions, also leave a comment below. Hope this video helps you guys out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be dropping more videos about other platforms that I've been using to help me make money as a creative. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.